Ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, proudly presents to you another amazing episode of 15 Minutes of Fandom. That's right, that's where we actually take the spotlight and put it on the people that actually make it possible. That's right, the fans, the people that make Wrestlemania and Full Gear and what was the other one? Slammiversary and all those other great wrestling events successful. So with that being said, here are the introductions. In the first corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society and Delaware's greatest American hero. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And in the second quarter, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always positive, life is great, repping 592, but living in the 718, no cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. And our special guest tonight is a young lady who is actually doing big things as one half of one of the most prolific wrestling podcasts. She's actually interviewed people such as Bianca Belair. That's right, that actually main evented WrestleMania last week. Everybody, welcome to the show, Krista B.
Woo! Hi, thank you for having me. I appreciate the intro.
Yeah, we've been trying to have you on here for a hot minute, man, but
Yeah,
schedules clash and life happens and but yeah, we find better late than never, or better later than
absolutely.
never. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so how's everything going?
Everything is good. Everything is good. Can't complain, in a good headspace, in a happy space right now. I'm just so happy to be a part of your show and that we was able to get our schedules to mesh with each other.
Yeah. We had a Queen P on a couple months ago. Really great. Glad we can finally have you on. Hopefully next time down the road we can have both those wrestling girls on. I don't know if I'll be able to handle both of y'all though, because I know that y'all together is something. I went to that last jobber talk, yeah, the jobber talk y'all had, and man, it was empowering, but at the same time, man, y'all could party, man.
Oh, you mean
Definitely.
our 3-year anniversary party at Legends?
Yeah,
Thank you for coming. Thank you for
yeah.
coming.
I know if you remember that was when I asked one of the questions and whatnot, and
Well, I wasn't
yeah,
on the panel. I was just like floating around making sure everybody was okay. So PR was on the panel.
yeah, that was pretty good. And it's funny because it's funny how you see these people on Twitter, but like when you see them in person, like wow, that's you. Like when you see them in person, it's like wow, that's you. Like I saw like the dudes from like I think one or two dudes from what was it, Black Wrestling.
Black Wrestling Podcast. Shout out to them.
I saw Nisho Soul. Shout out to Nisho Soul. Like he found me first because when I was live streaming the panel and whatnot, he was like, "Yo, wait, Rennie Blue?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on? Like, did I do something wrong? Am I in trouble?" He's like, "No, you from Ringside?" So I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's me. He's like, I'm Nisho Soul." I'm like, "Yo, what's good?" Yeah,
It's always those moments because you think like everybody is one way on Twitter, and then when you get the whole community that you follow on Twitter in one room, it's just like a whole nother experience within itself.
yeah, it definitely is. But I gotta say, thank you for that, and thank you for all that y'all keep giving back. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is no cap whatsoever. But y'all, those wrestling girls and Jobber Tears are two of my favorite podcasts. The reason why I got number love for y'all is because as prolific, in my opinion, as prolific as y'all are, y'all always look to give back to the wrestling community, and that's something you don't find with a lot of podcasts. Yeah, I interviewed this, or we talked about this, and but no, not none of them, like hardly, or not none of them, hardly any of them ever look to say, okay, let's give back to the people that support us. Let's do a giveaway. I'm not trying to tell people how to live, but I'm just saying that says a lot. Like let's do a giveaway. Let's have a viewing party, for this event, you know. And that stuff is very impressive in my eyes. And I tip my hat off to y'all. Like I got nothing but well wishes for y'all and so on.
Thank
Y'all keep
you.
doing everything. I like the fact that those wrestling girls, y'all empower females, all over the wrestling community. Because now these days, like, unfortunately, we still have people that want to gatekeep females and so on, and it's a sad thing, and that people don't know the history that women have been in from the beginning. Like, since
Right.
I got aunts, like, female relatives that used to watch, like, before I started watching, like, back in, like, the 80s and the 70s. So, but I digress. I gotta ask you, Krista, how did you get involved in professional? And let me ask you then. I saw you had a Jamaican um handkerchief on one time. Are you Jamaican?
My boyfriend of 12 plus years, 10 plus years, we're about to make 13, and my best friend, they're Jamaican. So whenever I'm out with them Labor Day weekend, that's the flag I'm repping.
Oh, okay. I thought you were Jamaican because I'm about to say, like, wow. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, like, was she Jamaican too? Like, what? Yeah. But yeah, how did you come find professional wrestling?
The Rock. The Rock's debut at Survivor Series in '96. I was 6 years old. And it was just like me as a 6 year old looking at this tall, hunky man at my drum, 6 years old, and then just watching his evolution from there. Like I've been a wholehearted Rock fan since day one, still one now, and I'm a true fan because I feel like there's an essence of being what you call a true fan. If a person does something that you do not like, you tell them to their face, or you voice it out loud if you don't know the person. Like, hey, that didn't work well. That's not good or whatever. And me saying that is because of that rap song that he did, that verse that he did on that rap song. But that's neither here or there. But yes, it's because of The Rock I became so invested into wrestling.
Yeah, The Rock was something, man. That was like one of my teenage inspirations right there. We had so much in common, and
And your intro was literally based off of one of The Rock's promos. Like me, I don't know if you saw the smile that was on my face when he was saying it, but I was just like, oh, okay. He's channeling The Rock. Got it.
yeah. Well, I've always said, so the intro thing. I've always tell people that it's like a little bit of Howard Finkel, a little bit of Road Dogg, and I just say it at the top of my lungs. I hope I sound good. I mean, it's just something that, I mean, yeah, my intro is kind of like the Rock Zone. You know, Rob Zone is kind of like Justin Roberts, AEW, when he used to announce Kenny Omega.
Mhm.
I kind of took a bit from that. And then Kathy, who unfortunately couldn't be here, I don't know where, I just, try to say something, cool for her, and hopefully she doesn't, like, yell at me, after the show and be like, you said what? It's not how it goes. I mean, she could be very scary off screen. So yeah.
Shout out to Kathy. She actually wrote me this morning saying that she wasn't going to be able to be here because of work. But if you're here, if off work on time, you join us, Kathy. I'm here. But shout out to you and thank you for the well wishes this morning that you sent me on Twitter.
Yeah, we miss you, Kathy. We really wish you could have been here. Well, like I said, we'll try to get both y'all, you and Queen P, back for one of our prediction shows if y'all are down.
Of
And
course.
me, before every like pay-per-view, we normally have like a past 15 minutes of fandom guest on, and we normally just have them. We go down the card together, and we normally just say, well, who he thinks will win this match or that match, and who he thinks gonna happen, and so on. Yeah. So yeah, so you're a Rock fan. Wow, that's cool, man. So I take it like you were very happy when he started his movie. Okay, let me backtrack a bit. How did you feel? Okay, The Rock loses his title to Brock Lesnar, but then you find out The Rock is going Hollywood. I mean, you saw the Mummy 2, what was the Mummy 2 when he was a Scorpion King, and he goes Hakuma Machente, and then he fights, he starts going into battle, and then after he comes back for one more run, loses his title to Brock Lesnar, and then you find out he's doing Walking Tall, he's doing Rundown. What was your thought process when he actually started doing movies?
Okay, well, so when he first started to like venture out and leave, at that moment, I really didn't understand like why would you venture out and leave? Like you're doing so well here. I didn't get branching out to get the more of exposure to become more of a celebrity that you are. Because back then, when you're in wrestling, we already think you're a celebrity. Like I always felt like everybody had their own lanes. Like if you're a music star, you're solely doing music. If you're an actor or actress, you're solely doing acting. So if you're a wrestler, you're solely doing wrestling. So when he started to like branch out, I'm like, all right, cool. As long as he comes back. And then he came back, and that version of like him coming back was like Hollywood Rock. Like he was, arrogant, self-centered, like a complete asshole. But I loved it because it's like, okay, The Rock is back. Like, we really didn't have Austin like that anymore. Triple H was somewhere or another. Undertaker was somewhere or another. Like all the ones that we grew up watching, Attitude Era was like kind of dwindling away. And it was also a change of era and times. Like we went from Attitude Era to Ruthless Aggression. So we had all these young people: Brock Lesnar, John Cena. We had Kurt Angle, who was like feuding with, I think it was Edge in the hair match, and we had Eddie Guerrero. Like we had all these superstars, but I'm just like, I don't think any of them's going to carry it like The Rock and Austin and Triple H or whatever. So when he came back, I was really excited. Like, yes, he's coming back. The Rock is going to carry it where it needs to be for him to win the, what was it, the WCW championship, I believe, and then lose it to Brock Lesnar and then leave for like 7 to 9 years. I was just like, what is happening? Like, where now I really have to go search to see what you're doing because you're not on my TV. And then, Walking Tall, The Rundown. I didn't watch Tooth Fairy. Have no intention to ever watching Tooth Fairy. Game Plan. All the movies and stuff that he was in. I was just like, okay, well, yeah. And then I will watch when he'll make his appearances and just get me back in that. Oh my gosh, like that Attitude Era feeling. He still has his catchphrases to this very day. If they said The Rock was going to be on SmackDown or Raw, I'm literally recording it on my phone from my TV and like no interruptions. Don't call me until The Rock is off of my screen.
Yeah, that's how I am too. Like whenever The Rock is on there, I'm like, shh, The Rock is speaking.
Right?
Know
Don't
your
speak.
role. I'd be like, know your role and shut your
Shut your
mouth.
mouth. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I once it's funny because like The Rock was such an inspiration to me, and I remembered I met a guy. I don't know if you went to the convention. That was a couple months ago. I met a guy that actually does Rock impersonations, and I went up to him and I was like, I did it just like this. I was like, "Hey, Rock, I have one thing to say to you. If it wasn't for you, the worldwide star boy," and I'm giving you the shorter version because I had a longer version. He and I was like, if it wasn't for you, the worldwide star boy would have never been a thing. And like he was like, wow, he had that look like, oh, that was pretty impressive what you did, you know. But yeah, The Rock is just amazing, man. It's just, and he's a funny guy too. Like, he can be serious, he can be motivational, and he can also be funny as well too. Like the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that he has said, I'm like,
It's like you
wow,
have to go back, like watching from Attitude Era, and then rewatching. You're like, wait, was I really applauding this or laughing at this as a child? Like strudel, poutine pie. It was just a lot of things. Like, wait a minute, like this is what I was laughing at. I mean, it's funnier now because we get the adult context of it. But as a child, you just laughing because the crowd is laughing. There's always that shock factor, that shock value factor. But
yeah,
it worked.
like when Shawn Michaels called Owen Hart a nugget. I grew up in Guyana. So during the Attitude Era, I was a teenager in Guyana. So we have different cultures. So certain lingos that they would say, I wouldn't really get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got some of it, but certain things I could have gotten, like for example, the whole crotch chop thing. I got away with doing it to people, but I never got in trouble because my culture. It's either they didn't know or they just didn't care.
Oh, we got in trouble.
So I never really got. I never really got. But then I hardly did it too. So, but
We got in trouble, and I talked about this on our podcast before because PR. as you know, is also a wrestling fan, and she was Team Austin. She's Team Austin. I'm Team Rock. But when it came to DX, that was like we come together. So I was like, imagine me and my cousins. We went to my cousins, like a lot of my friends. We were in Catholic school watching wrestling. So imagine going around saying "suck it" in a Catholic school uniform. Right, right. I mean, they didn't whip us with like rulers or anything. We weren't gonna get beat. That's what they wasn't gonna do. But we was always yelled at. You know, why are you doing that? Da, 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 suck it. Da, da. But you know, it was all fun and games because that's what we saw on TV, and it was the '90s. If we say that now, you just bound to get your ass beat. Like, but yeah, we did get in trouble for saying it up here and for doing the movements. We did.
Yeah, that was man. Attitude Era was definitely one of those. It was a crazy couple of years, and I'm glad I was a teenager during the time because I started watching in 1990 when I was 6, going on 7, and it's funny. Like teenage me was saying, "Wow, 6 or 7 year old me could not watch it right now. I wouldn't be allowed to watch this." Thank goodness I'm a teenager now because back then, woo, yeah, it was something. So Queen PR. We had Queen PR on here, a couple of months ago, and y'all actually, she told us how y'all actually formed, those wrestling girls and whatnot. 3 great years y'all been doing the damn thing. What
Thank
was your
you.
thought process when you first met Queen PR? Because like first you said she's an Austin fan. You were like, "You're an Austin fan? I'm a Rock fan." Boo! Austin fans are Rock fans. They were like, they
That
weren't
was
as
my
hardcore now.
household. That was my household. Like I was Team Rock. My brother and my cousin was Team Austin. So I already kind of knew if I met another Austin fan, we would always have that back and forth banter of like who's better than who. But sorry. But when I met PR, my first reaction of her was, "Oh shit, there's somebody else that watches wrestling like me." Cause we met. I want to say we were like mid 20s when we met, mid to late 20s, and it's just like, oh, there's another girl who looks like me, black girl who looks like me, and we both watch wrestling. That's cool. And I met her through her sister. If y'all didn't know, PR is a twin. I
Oh
met
yeah,
her through her sister.
I met Letty.
Oh yes, DJ Letty. She turned up at the party. But I met her through Letty, and it was just like from then on, from that moment that we met and we're talking wrestling, like we've never stopped talking, never stopped speaking, and everything we would talk about, we would vent our frustrations to each other about the product. We would just talk and talk and talk about wrestling, women's wrestling, how women aren't being utilized as they should, how you know they're still giving these 2-minute matches after we've been seeing what they've been doing down in NXT, and then we had the comparison rate. So I was just like, yo, let's just put this on a podcast. I started listening to Black Girl Podcast, and drawing some inspiration from them. We did our research, found out we were the only two black females covering women's wrestling in America, which I still think that we are. Um, and it was just like, all right, let's just do it. And then when IGTV first came out, we did like a little short video, and I had named it "Those Wrestling Girls." She didn't like it. She hated the name. She's like, let's think about something else. I said, all right, I'm gonna put "Those Wrestling Girls" for right now. I said, because you look at it, either way, somebody's gonna be talking about us, whether it's in a good way or in a bad way. Somebody's gonna speak about us. Our names are always gonna be in their mouth, and it's gonna get people wondering and thinking. So it took her some days to sit on it, and then she was like, "Yes, let's just leave it as Those Wrestling Girls." So that's how we met P. Like I was just like, that's how I met P, and it's been like synergy ever since.
And great synergy at that because I mean I think y'all interviewed Bianca Belair. That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. I think y'all interviewed Naomi too.
Yes, I was able to, because of my job, and thank goodness for my job. And being that there are some wrestling fanatics or wrestling fans who I work with, I was able to, and I work for one of the biggest radio stations in New York. I was able to use that platform to interview Bianca, Naomi, and Mia Yim for a story I did for High 97 about the up and coming women in wrestling. And although it's amazing that I interviewed Naomi and Bianca, I really wanted to interview Mia Yim because she is half black, and people don't seem to realize or fail to understand that she's half black. So I felt that it was imperative for me to capture her story because um to see that just because you look one way doesn't mean you're not who you say you are. And for her to always have to constantly put her pictures of her father or her sisters and things of that nature up, I just wanted to capture her story and, have her own voice within the article. So from there, from interviewing Naomi, Mia, and Bianca, we was also able to get Bianca on uh Krista B Sounds Off, where we were talking about like the racial injustice and things that were happening because this happened right when we was in the midst of the pandemic, happened right in the midst of the George Floyd case with the cop putting his knee on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes, and we were just tired. We was just expressing how tired we were. We were just expressing how hard it is still to this very day for Black people, people of color. And Bianca just gave some amazing insight on her views about it, and yeah, we just clicked and connected ever since.
Hey, real talk though. Speaking of Bianca, and like I said, I tend to play armchair booker from time to time. I'm still pissed with Vince because, and here's why. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I always thought you put Bianca Belair, Naomi, and B Fab in one group. You got the TLC of WWE. You got that one positive black black female stable that, in my opinion, would be uplifting. And I
And
was
here's
hoping that Vince would have done that. I was hoping it would have came to that. It could still. I'm hoping for Naomi and Bianca to come together, but that would have been epic in my opinion. And I am
and
upset that didn't.
I I agree with you on that, but here's my issue with that. Because there are not writers of color or women writers in the back, you put three black women in a faction or a group, or women of color in a faction or a group. It's just going to be so stereotypical. It's just going to be criticized to where they think how black people act, how black women act. It would never come off as a positive way. And speaking with Naomi, when I was talking to her, we had mentioned Team Bad, and you saw, like, if you look back at clips and stuff on like the attitude and the switching and the clicking of the hands and the neck rolling and stuff, it was frustrating to, like, as a fan see that, because like, this is not how black women are depicted. And if we do talk like that, and we're not always angry or upset, we're passionate about something, we want to get our point across, we want to be heard on certain situations. So it would have been nice to have Bianca, Naomi, B Fab, and the faction. But the way that would have been executed, it would have been executed wrong. So I appreciate the fact that they stayed away from that, because I rather them have stayed away from it than catching the flack that they would have caught if they did that and misguided other viewers of how they think that we are in real life.
Yeah, I know. You're definitely right about that. You're definitely right, and that's one thing I don't like is the stereotypes, man. Like if we get that one person that say, something, we don't want no stereotypes, miss us with that nonsense, then that would be very great. I always said if I was a promoter and I had, whether it's black, whether it's white, whether it's, Indian, Hispanic, I would tell that person, look, I don't want none of the stereotypical nonsense. I want something different. If you want to rep your culture, of course, rep your culture. I would never stop you from doing that. That would be absurd of me to do that. But, rep it in a positive way. Rep it in a way where, people in your culture will look at you and be like, see you as an inspiration, you know. And I don't know if you caught this, but one Royal Rumble moment that I will never forget. As a matter of fact, it's one of my favorite moments was when seeing Bianca and Naomi. They were on the verge of actually being eliminated, and they were fighting with each other. And they were like, you know what? Let's work together and they brought each other up. People, the average person may have seen two people fighting and they decide, hey, it's not working out for us. Let me, let's work together. What I saw was two queens actually fighting and then seeing, hey, you know something? We're both gonna perish if we're divided. Let's unite, bring each other up, and they were able to unite and get each other back in the ring. So that was a very positive moment that I enjoyed. I liked it, and I'm really hoping they become a tag team. I really hope so. Like,
I
that
just
would
think it
definitely
has
be
to
awesome.
make sense. There has to be a way for it to make sense. Um, we would love to for them to be a tag team, but speaking, of course, as a woman and viewing as a woman, it has to make sense. It has to be like a tag team that you can carry on for a while. Like we had the stable tag teams. We have Fire and Desire. Mandy Rosen and Sonya Deville was tag team for years. Like they came in together under Page and Absolution. We had the Iconics, they're gone. We had the Bella Twins. Well, but yeah, we had the Bella Twins, so to speak. But they come and go when they need to because they're moms now. They're moms. They have other things to deal with. But for Bianca and Naomi to be a tag team, it just has to make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, we're not gonna want to see it. So I feel like there's a time and rhyme and reason for everything, and we just have to wait for it to happen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully, and it, as you say, ends up making sense, and we get to see. Because I think that would be a great tag team. That would be it. Would be awesome to see that. But at the same time, I saw a certain Funkadactyl make a return too. So, and I heard rumors that she may come back to WWE. I'm all for it, but we'll see.
She should have
So
came
I just
back
got
that Friday after Rumble. She should have came back to that SmackDown that Friday after Rumble. It would have made sense.
yeah. Who knows though? But honestly, I would it would be great because if she came back, hopefully they come back, reunite, and then they go for the tag team titles because that women's tag team division needs more tag teams, man. I don't know what Vince's thought process is, or whoever. It can't be just Vince. It has to be some other people that's doing this too as well. I would love to see what their logic is because, quite frankly, if I was running things, I wouldn't fire no women. I mean, and I'm not, and I know you guys are probably gonna call me a simp. You're gonna call me all things under the sun, how I'm pandering, but Rob, you know how people are, man. Like Remy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're a simp and you're a white knight and whatnot. But at the same time, you know, let's be honest. There are more men than women in WWE. So
Mhm.
why not keep them? More
Mhm.
competitors. More competitors for Becky, more competitors for Charlotte, more competitors for Zelina and Carmella, you know? And I think they just need more patience with them, man. Just find somewhere, make a nice little tag team, and just keep them together. And that's another thing that pisses me off with WWE. They have to break up every tag team. Like, and you know what I think it is? I think Vince saw the Rockers. I don't know if you remember the Rockers. If you ever saw old event. Okay,
Mhm.
so you saw the breakup, and I think
Yeah.
Vince is thinking every team he breaks up, somebody's gonna be the Shawn Michaels. When that's not always gonna be the case, you know. But I got one. As a matter of fact, we have a special guest here who decided to join us. Geez, you caused me so much trouble.
Kathy.
What's up?
Hi.
I made
Yes,
it.
you're here. How
Surprising.
are you?
Good. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good.
Awesome.
So I just got one more question before I turn it because I'm gonna let Kathy go next.
Let
Um,
Rob go. I don't have anything. Well, I got a few questions, but Rob can go.
all right. You sure? You sure you're not gonna threaten me after the show to beat me up and whatnot? And
I'll threaten
you
you
see, there
during the
she goes.
show.
She always threatens me. I don't know why. But
I'll just threaten you during the show. How about that?
the abuse. But I just got one more question before I turn over to Rob, and I just gotta ask. Um, so first off, congratulations on 3 years. You
Thank you.
ladies have been putting in the work. you've been, and I like to see people get rewarded, and I like to see people work hard and get rewarded. That's something I love to see, and I see that every time when you ladies interview people like Bianca and Naomi and Mia Yim, and you just recently interviewed Mickey James. So I just got to say congrats on that. But my question is, where do you ladies see those wrestling girls in 5 years?
Whew. I don't even think we spoke about that. I just think I feel like our end goal is just to leave an impact, you know. In 5 years, we'll probably be, I don't know. Like we've never really spoke about it, but for me, I feel like in 5 years, if our impact hasn't done anything, then I feel like we didn't do anything right. You understand? Like I feel like in 5 years, yes, people will know our names and our faces as individuals, but also as those wrestling girls, as also as commentators or special contributors to these promotions, to AEW, to WWE, to Impact, to Wow, to all these different outlets. And I want to say in 5 years, we will be a part of that reputation that little girls look up to. That, they can dress like us if we ever have like a certain style or, unique factor about us. But as long as we leave a lasting impression within 5 years and then many more years to go, I'll be satisfied.
Awesome. That's cool. Well, I definitely hope, y'all definitely reach y'all's goal, and once again, like I said, y'all keep on doing the great things. I definitely enjoyed that Jobber Talk slash 3 year anniversary y'all had. If I'm
Thank
still in
you.
New York, I will definitely be at the other one. And it was, like I said, it was very actually, because of that, I actually ended up going to We Are Wrestling, which y'all talked about, and I was like,
Yes.
yeah, let me go ahead and show some support, to the indies. I always love the indies anyways, man. I mean, I'm not knocking WWE and AEW, but the indies are pretty much, where I enjoy seeing, wrestling and all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn over to Rob. I know Rob has some questions, and then Kathy has some for you afterwards. So Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on? How's everything going your way today?
Hey Rob, I'm good. I'm good. I'm here. Blessed to be here.
Oh, that's good. So how was your day? Anything exciting happened today? You know what I mean? Any anything crazy? Just a normal day?
Normal day, normal adulting in this ghetto neighborhood of adulthood that we're in. That's it.
Oh, I know how you feel. This was awful. I hate being an adult. I was like,
Right,
yeah,
like
I was just doing laundry and all that. Right before we started, I heard my washer dryer going off. Ding! So at least I got dry clothes. So
right. It's always the upside to things.
there you go. So you were talking earlier and stuff about you were a rock fan and everybody in your house, a lot of people in your house were Austin fans. Now I noticed I had the same thing as you because I was a rock fan and see I grew up in a rural area, so a lot of the people around there that watched wrestling loved Austin. So whenever we were getting a debate, it was like 10-on-1. You know what I mean? I'm trying to defend the Rock and all. It was like woo, you know what I mean? It's like man, it was rough, you know what I mean? But I would hold my own, you know.
Right, right, right.
Because I'd always get him with I was like, man, him and Vince love each other. Because how you explain Austin not defending his belt for 6 months? You know what I mean? Just walking around with the belt. And he's like, I'm like, there you go. There you go.
Exactly.
Now that we know that he really had neck injury and stuff, I was like, oh, man, But back then, you didn't really know.
True.
So I do got to ask, what is like your favorite like rock promo or moment that you can think of? Like,
My
off the top of your
favorite
head.
My favorite Rock promo to this very day is definitely when he makes fun of Undertaker, Rikishi, Kurt Angle, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Triple H in that promo. I forget which pay per view they were going into, but when he did the impersonations of all five of them and for that match for the championship belt, I watched that and I feel like I know parts of it verbatim because of how many times I've watched that promo. That has to be like mine. And things that he done with Mae Young, like
Mm.
later on, like when Mae Young pinched him on the butt and he was like naughty Mae, or like when he kissed Mae Young like at some party that was backstage or whatever. Like things that he's done with her because Mae Young is a legend. Okay, like
Mhm.
rest in peace to the greats. Definitely a legend. So those things, like those are my favorite, some of my favorite Rock moments. The Of course, the beer truck when he's like swimming in the middle of the ring with Austin, with Vince and Shane, and Austin is like spewing beer slash water. Um, his interpretations of Triple H, talking about this is the game, and all of that. Um, him and Chris Jericho's banter together against each other, or even like them when they were cracking jokes on Stephanie and Booker T and Rhino in the ring. Anything Rock at this point, like except for like even Hollywood Rock, like he trash talked every city he was in, and people, although they booed, they still cheered. Like, so yeah, anything Rock.
I always liked this thing, that little mini feud he had with the Hurricane. That was hilarious. Like sometimes I'll be down and go on YouTube and watch those little, promos where like, the Hurricane's like hiding his thing, and the Rock's like, is somebody really up in here?
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
he
yeah.
flies out and stuff. And it's like, oh, that's great. Yeah, hilarious. That, and I always like I always felt bad for Billy Gunn, but that Billy Gunn promo where he just
Oh
roasted him,
yes.
man, I was like, I felt bad they didn't give him a retort. They didn't let him, say something back. It was just like, all right. It was like, man,
Right.
woo.
That my name is Billy Tommy thing. Yeah, that was funny. Also, another one. It's not really a promo. I think Rock was calling for an open challenge. I know he was in the ring, and I believe his name was like Sean Stasiak or something like that. And he comes running to the ring, and as he's running to the ring, the Rock just grabs him by the neck and throws him over the top rope. And so he did it again. Came to the ring, like started walking out, ran back down, Rock throws him again. And it was more so that, but it's also JR saying like his perception is wrong. Like he's just like not understanding like what is happening. So that's also like a classic Rock moment that stands out in my mind, but that's also because of JR.
Wasn't he known as Meat? But then was that when he was Meat?
Yeah, I think
When he
so.
was with Terry Reynolds. Okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because he Rock would be just talking, all of a sudden it just step back. And
Yeah,
he's like,
like what? True. Yeah.
now, speaking of like, Rock Austin and stuff, man, there has been some rumors, Austin might come back at WrestleMania. Have you heard this? And
I heard
what?
it. I saw it yesterday, and I will be there to witness it in person.
Woo! Okay. So what? I heard it's against Owens. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. What do you think? What do you think about that? You know what I mean? It's like, you think it's gonna be a good match? Austin gonna do the thing, or do you think it's just talk?
Like a stunner versus stunner type match.
Ugh.
I feel like nobody can literally sit here and take what's rightfully somebody else's, and we all know that Austin owns the Stone Cold Stunner. It's cute that Kevin Hart, sorry. I'm sorry. Kevin Owens is using it for a while, but I don't think they're going to bring Austin back to wrestle. I don't think that's where Austin mind is at. I feel like just making an appearance, is just where it's at. But if he happens to hit a stunner, why not? You're in Texas. You're in your hometown, your home state. Why not?
Yeah, that's how I feel. He might just make an appearance. Come out there, drink some beer, stun some people, and then head on out. I mean, that's what I want to see. Austin
Right.
do that.
That's it.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, yeah, they're right in Texas, so well, Texas is big, so depending on where he's at, it could be like 10-hour drive or 2-hour drive or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah, I live in Delaware, so yeah, it's like I can get from one side of the state to the other in like a half hour, so I'm good.
Delaware is no shade to anybody from Delaware, but when I drive to Maryland and I go from Jersey to Delaware, I feel like I'm only in Delaware for 10 minutes driving. And then it's like, welcome to Maryland. I'm like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see no type of landmarks, no buildings, no anything. Literally, it's a 10-minute drive through Delaware.
Yeah, you hit 95. Yeah, because 95, you only had that one little piece up there, up north.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That's it.
It's like, that's it.
Wow.
If you ever do stay, it's cool because there's tax-free shopping. You know what I mean? So if a bag of chips is 99 cents, you give them $1, you get a penny back. You know what I mean? Yeah, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Plus we got beaches, dispensaries, legal gambling, all that good stuff.
Well, they make gambling legal over here now too, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have legal
Yeah,
gambling.
I haven't. I haven't seen if they do WWE stuff. I heard some places do that, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the casino and really be like, somebody really gonna bet on who's gonna win this match? Like,
Right.
all right. They're like,
Well, if
oh
they
man, it's
do,
like,
I'll let you know. If I go and I see it, I'll let you know which casino it's at.
oh yeah, no, I'm good. I wouldn't bet on a wrestling match anyway. I'm good.
Right, because you
I'll
never
bet on
know.
NFL, basketball, that stuff. Yeah, UFC, but yeah, no.
You never know with wrestling.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Plus, I could probably be like, hey, yeah, I know somebody in the back, and they'd be like, oh yeah, this person going over. I'm like, okay, yeah, let me get
True.
on right here.
True.
So so what are your thoughts on Elimination Chamber? It's coming up. Was it Saturday, right?
It's Saturday. At first I was kind of like, really don't care too much for it. There's no women matches. But then they brought the chamber match. They brought the women's chambers match. They brought um Sonya Deville and Charlotte versus Ronda and Naomi. I believe we have another women's match. I can't think of it, but right now I think we have three women's matches in Jeddah, which is the first of its kind because I feel like every time event was in Jeddah, we only had one women's match. But now that we have two or three, we have multiple ones. I'm here for it. Um, I was surprised, but not really surprised that Alexa Bliss was the last member to the last entrant in the elimination chamber. I feel like they should have just let the music play and like still gave us that wow factor instead of telling us on Monday Night Raw. I feel like WWE loses their wow factor because it's either they give out too many surprises. Oh no, they give out too many surprises. They don't ever let us be surprised anymore. Um, as for the men, I don't really know who's fighting in an elimination chamber, and at this point, I really don't. I don't really care. I'm just here for
There
the
you go.
women. If I see Roman Reigns, I know is fighting. That much I know. Team Roman, all day. But everybody else is like, okay, yeah, do good out there. Be safe. That's
That's
it.
right. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to catch the replay of it because I'm repping shows and stuff on Saturday. I got CCW and one CW repping and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have to miss it unless we can get it in the boat where everybody can crowd around somebody's phone or something in the back. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Like,
And just
oh yeah, like that.
watch. Right.
Now I don't know if you seen the pictures of Enzo going around, but man, Enzo's looking big or whatever. He was down our way last month or whatever, month ago, and yeah,
I've
he was looking big
seen
too. I was like,
I've seen
he didn't look
Enzo.
like that on TV.
Right. Like I don't know if it's I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. But I've seen some
I
pictures
mean,
of
he could just be,
yeah. I have seen some
yeah.
pictures of Enzo going around. He does look good, you know. He looks like he can act he's actually hitting the gym and pressing bench pressing, baby cows. But yeah, he looks good. I do feel like WWE owes him a huge apology. Like they did him so wrong. Like they really could have ended his career. And he kind of did hit a downward spiral, but I do like seeing positive images of him. I do.
Yeah, because
So
yeah, I seen. I didn't get to actually meet him because he just stopped by, like make an appearance, beat somebody up, and head on out. Sign some autographs. So he's only in the back for like 5 minutes. But I was
right.
like, man, he's looking jacked. I was like, man, I don't remember him looking like that on TV, but it's always TV and then in person. Because like
Well, I seen
I've
him in
met,
person. He didn't look like that.
yeah, okay. Because I've seen Cena in person, on TV. I'm like, man, that dude's ripped, but this is like 20 years ago though. But he was like all big up top, but his legs were like, it was like that. So I don't know if it's changed since then. So
Did it? I saw him at Mania 35 when he came out as a Word Life Cena. I'm
mhm.
trying to picture. I think well, maybe it's because of the shorts. I don't know. And it was by that time. It was the next day. We were still at Mania, so I have no idea. I was probably delirious at that time.
So how was that Mania going? So I've never experienced WrestleMania. Like, what is that WrestleMania experience like? Is everything we all dream of as wrestling fans?
Um, yes. For me, because it was my very first Mania. It was my very first Mania. So for me, yes, it really was everything you could imagine it to be. It was cold
Mm.
towards like at night. It was freezing cold. Drinking $6 cups of small hot chocolate stadium prices just rip you from like
Mhm.
yeah, but for me, I enjoyed it a lot. I really enjoyed it. I was able to see, my favorites, Shane wrestle, Shane and Miz wrestle. I saw, of course, Triple H and Batista. Something's always happening to Stephanie, so that's always fun to watch. Um, I got to see Becky Lynch make history, and I was actually rooting for her. That was always fun to watch. I got to see Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar. Um, Roman Reigns, I believe Roman Reigns won that time too. That night too. I was able to see John Cena come back as Word Life, like you know. Um, and then there's always the people you with. Like I was with my cousin, and then we kind of went separate ways. And I was with a friend who was there. It was always fun, like get crowd reactions. And you meet people as well too, so you always have that little bit of a bond there, even if it's just like for a small second. So it was fun for me. I enjoyed it. That's why I'm going back to Texas this year.
Nice. Yeah, see, I need to migrate to Texas one time. I heard wrestling out there is just awesome. Plus, I need to experience, just the weather and stuff. Because this Northeast weather in the winter is like, man, I just turned 40 years old, and yeah, this winter is like hurting my bones and stuff. I need to move to a tropical climate. This is getting awful.
Absolutely. I hate it here. I hate the weather
Uh,
here. And I've been here all my life and I just can't stand it at all
I don't know how
whatsoever.
Prince lived in Minnesota. Like, man, I don't. Yeah, like I wouldn't have done that, man.
Mm-mm.
Oh, same with Brock. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, we're getting like 20 inches of snow. I'm like,
And that's normal.
mm,
They'll still walk or drive out
hmm
there. Like, huh? Nope. Not
yeah.
me.
We have interviewed it. We had a guest on here for 15 minutes of fandom. She lived like I think she said it was like a couple hours from the Arctic Circle. She was like, "Oh yeah, it's always snowing and stuff here. I gotta bring a gun out when I'm walking my dog in case wild animals are on." It's like, what? Like, oh, I couldn't do that. Like,
That's
no.
normal for them. It couldn't have been me.
Oh yeah, I see Sasquatch and stuff. And it's just like, I literally soil myself and just be like, I'm done. You know what I mean? Sasquatch done ate me. You know what I mean? They got to put flyers up and yeah, I'm out.
Right. At this point, you can have me. I ain't not
Yeah, because
outside.
I found out, doing rep training and stuff, like I can't sprint anymore. I can jog, you know what I mean? It's just, once I start sprinting, those quads start tightening up, and I'm like, and I'm like walking like Frankenstein's monster out there, like, nah, I'll end up like Vince, just sitting down, like, all
Sitting
right, I
there
guess you
with
got me. Yeah, you got me. So grab my legs and drag me.
that's
You like
funny.
that on that old movie, kids. You're like, I got no legs. I got no legs. You know what I mean?
Right. Listen, I can't take this. But yeah, I feel like WrestleMania in Texas is gonna be a good one this year. So I'm excited to go.
I hope they go to Philly one time. Come to Philly. Oh man, that'd be awesome. So I can just drive up there. I ain't gotta get no motels or any of that stuff. I can just drive up, drive back. You know what I mean?
Yep, me too. 2 hours
That'd be
from
awesome.
here. 2 hours from
Yes,
here.
yes. There you go. Oh yeah, just drive up, drive. Because I heard the one in New York. I heard everybody had problems with Uber and stuff, right?
I am so glad that I was able to drive because
Mm.
um Ubers coming out of MetLife Stadium were ridiculous. Like even the line to get out, like a good thing I had a small car at the time, so I was just like maneuvering in and out of places. But whew, child, anybody who had an Uber, yeah, the money was kind of ridiculous.
That's right. That's right. Now,
Try
before I
driving in
pass
Miami.
on,
Hmm.
I was going to say, try driving in Miami. Woo-hoo!
Oh, I don't drive in Miami. What I do is I'll get at a hotel and stay close to the strip. And if it's South Beach, I never been to North Beach, but if it's South Beach, you get a hotel close to the strip, and everything is walkable unless there's like a party somewhere else, and you get like a cab, which is like $15-$20. But in the way I'm speaking like Miami Carnival. Remy, you would probably know more about Carnival, but yes, that's what I do.
Oh man, yeah, and yeah, you're right.
Okay.
yeah, Miami. I've been to Miami. It's been fun and stuff. I remember drinking coffee there. Like it was like in a shot glass. I just took it. And I was like, I was up for 3 days. You're just like, oh my god.
Oh,
What
it
is
was like
this stuff?
Cuban coffee.
Yes, yes. Because they were all screaming at me. I thought I did something wrong. It was like, no, we're chilling. This is how we are. I was like, okay. So, but before I pass it on to Kathy, I did want to ask. I'm always watching the same TV shows over and over again. I get stuck watching comfort shows. So what's something new that you're watching and stuff? Any new movies, TV shows you're watching? Because I'm always
I
trying to add something
I
to my
just got
queue.
finished watching, and I'm gonna butcher the title, but I just got finished watching Woman in the House. Let me look on Netflix because I promise you, I don't know the title, but it's Woman in the window across the street, Woman in the house in the
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
yes,
with
okay.
Kirsten Bell, Kristen
Kristen
something.
Bell,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I just got finished watching that. So I'm gonna go on to the Kanye West
Ooh,
uh documentary because the first episode came out. And then I'm gonna after that I'm gonna go on to Inventing Anna documentary because I just got finished watching Tinder Swindler.
mm.
So yeah, so Tinder Swindler, Woman in These Houses, Kanye West, Inventing Anna, and then I'm just gonna bring it all back in with Euphoria on Sunday.
There you go. There you go. I do want to see that Kanye one because I seen a little clip on there where he was like, I think he was at Rockefeller or something. He was playing All Falls Down, a demo, and he's sitting here jamming. And the woman listened to it was just
That ain't it.
like that. I was like, what? I was like, I love that song. That was like one of my favorite songs of Kanye. Old school kind. I was like, man, I love that song.
Yeah,
And
I
they were
miss
playing it. I was like,
2004 Kanye.
yeah, I was jamming because I don't think it was the one that came out on the album. It was like the early version too, but it was still. I was like, okay. And then they pan over to the A&R or whatever. It's just like, okay. Yeah, I'm like, all right. I mean, yeah. I'm glad he got his thing. Out there though. But yeah, Kanye. Yeah, he's wild.
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
something. But yeah, before I pass it on to Kathy, I want to say, thank you very much, for taking time out of your busy schedule to come to chat with us. I really enjoyed it, and I wish you nothing but the positive things that happen to you, your family, your career, your podcast, all that stuff. I hope you all are worldwide and blow up, so you're in every household in every country, around the world.
Thank you so much. That means so much. And I wish the same for all you guys as well. Thank you so, so much.
All right, thanks, Rob. What's up, Krista?
Hey, Kathy, how was
Finally get
work?
it was all right, busy.
Okay.
Finally get to meet each other after all
Yeah.
these years, huh?
Yes, I know. How you been?
Good. Yeah, you had like personal issues and stuff when I was on those wrestling girls, and it was just PR by herself. But get to meet you today, so there you go.
Yes. Oh, yes. I forgot. Girl, my life. That's all I can say. My life.
Yeah, you had a lot of stuff going on back then. Is everything good now? You good?
Everything is good. Everything is good. Thank
Awesome.
you for asking. Yes.
Did you paint that behind you?
Yes, I did.
That's
I did
awesome.
paint that. Thank you.
I can barely draw stick people. So
Oh,
there you
I
go.
literally, so what this is, the whole outline is already a sketch, and I
Uh-huh.
just painted the inside.
Oh, nice.
Because if I had to paint that outside, it wouldn't look like that. I promise.
Talking about work, like the whole shoot jobs and everything. You still work at the radio station?
Yes, that's the only job
Awesome.
I'm working right now, which I am so blessed to be doing.
I am totally jealous because that was my degree. I went to college for broadcasting, so the companies around here never hired me. But I do this, so do this podcast. It's kind of the same thing, I guess.
But
So
this will definitely outweigh that in the future, I'm telling you.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, it's pretty fun interviewing people. Yeah, I knew that because like you guys would use your radio station to do the podcast, so that was pretty neat too.
Yeah, they definitely allowed us to for before COVID, of course, for P to come through and we would just like record and we actually recorded with my now supervisor and one of the DJs who are wrestling fans. So it was a really fun experience to do.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, we have at my work, like we have these morning meetings, and my boss is like, "So what are you doing this weekend?" And I started saying that I go to these wrestling shows in Texas, and he's like, it turned out to be a big wrestling fan too. He's all talking about because I go to like Booker T's Reality of Wrestling for like, his shows and stuff like that in Texas. And he's like, yeah, Harlem Heat, I love them. Like he's a big wrestling fan. I was like, oh my god, I'm having a conversation with my boss about wrestling. So it's like you never know who's gonna be a
Right,
wrestling
you
fan.
never know who's a wrestling fan till you open your mouth.
It's crazy. Like we still
Mhm.
talk. He's like tomorrow he's gonna be like, what you doing? You going to that wrestling show tomorrow, right? I'm like, yeah.
Maybe I'll bring him onto the show.
No, no. We are not having my boss on here. Oh my god! Like
Absolutely not.
he would be a trip though. Like my boss is a trip. He's one of like the fun bosses. I've had like 3 jobs in my life. This is like my 3rd job, and he's like really cool to talk to. So I was like, that's cool. Like I don't have the boss from hell anymore because I used to have one like that, and I was like, he was ugh. But yeah, like this one's really cool. He's easy to talk to. So yeah, we talk wrestling. Like our whole we'll forget like we were supposed to be talking about work. We talk about wrestling. He asked me the other day. He's like, "Okay, I have a serious question for you," and I'm like, "Oh God, I'm in trouble or something." He's like, "Are you going to Wrestlemania? It's in Texas." I was like, "Well, if a ticket falls in my lap, I might go, but I am going to. I'm probably not gonna go to Wrestlemania itself, but I want to go to WrestleCon. So
Yes, we're
I
trying to
might do
do
that.
that, I believe, as well. We're trying to do as much wrestling fun filled things within 5 days.
Yeah, you were talking about 35. I went to 34 and I went from, well, not the whole week, but I did like the Thursday till WrestleMania, the Sunday. And that was in New Orleans and that was 2 hours away. And I never like get anything in New Orleans, like a hotel or anything, because I would always drive home.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty interesting. I had to get like a Airbnb and actually stay in New Orleans for like 5 days. It's like usually I get in, get out. I mean, it's 2 hours away from me. Like I'll go down Bourbon, do stuff with friends, and then drive back home. This was
Yeah.
different. So I was like, I parked my car and I actually like just took Ubers everywhere.
Yeah,
Like,
you have to.
yeah,
We did when I went to Mania, so we did the entire weekend, like from NXT, starting from NXT all the way down. So by the time Tuesday came around, was it? Yeah, Tuesday. So we did Hall of Fame, we did Raw, SmackDown, Mania. So it was just we were tired. Like literally, we didn't want to talk wrestling for like a week or like 2 weeks because we were just so burnt out, so exhausted. On top of doing like recap shows and stuff, it's tiring when you're in your. I feel like it's more time when you're in your own city because it's like, dang, I now got to get up and get back out of bed and leave my house and go. But I feel like if it's in another city, you're just so hype about being in that city that you've never been in before. The experience is different. But Mania 35 weekend, it was a real one. It was a fun one, but I'm not in my 20s anymore. I can't bounce back like I used to.
yeah, we're all getting old. Yeah, Rob just had a birthday. He joined the 40 Club. I joined in November,
Oh,
and then
nice.
it's Remy's turn pretty soon. He's gonna be 40 too. So like we're all old farts.
Don't include me in y'all Twilight. I'm happy with you. I got
He's
one
trying,
more year. Don't
yeah,
get me in.
he's trying to be different. You know, you turning 40 soon. It's coming. It's coming.
Don't get me involved in that. I'm good. I'm not fun in that 40s club. I'll
Yeah.
be over here.
Well, happy belated birthday, Rob. I'm sorry I didn't say it earlier.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
At least I'm beating baldness. That's all I'm glad for. I'm beating baldness. So as long as I'm
That's
doing that.
that's always a plus. Always a plus.
Yeah, he's beating the curve there. He still has a whole head of hair. No monkey butt yet, right?
Maybe about a couple years I have the cul-de-sac head. You know, and then I can grow that ponytail in the back, like Paul Heyman used to have. There you go.
Well, you have trouble growing beards, right? I was gonna say you could rotate your
Hmm.
crop. Get bald
Yeah,
up here,
that's
grow
why I
up
can't
down
grow a
here.
beard because it goes up
Goes
here.
up your head.
Because I go to the barber and they charge me double because my hair's so thick. You know what I mean? Like, man, we gotta charge you 2 haircuts for this. Like,
Yeah,
oh
we
man.
gotta cut your hair twice.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, I did like 34. I didn't mind it being like 6 hours. I was like, I wanted to be like 8 hours. I wanted more than that. But yeah, you guys had it like for 35. It went into like the next night or the next
The
morning.
next morning, like I didn't leave MetLife Stadium till about 1.
Oof.
I,
Yeah,
I
that's
was lucky to find parking when I got home, but man, and it was cold. All I had was like a tiny jacket. Like I didn't think to bring like a hoodie or something. I was over it. I didn't have a voice for like 2 weeks. It's over it.
Yeah, I was in the Superdome. It was cold. I remember like trying to add a camera and I was trying to record like people's interests and stuff, and you see like the camera shaking. I was like, I was freezing.
Right. I hope it's not
It
like
was
that in
cold.
Texas. Like I need some heat in Texas.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then yeah, what did you say, Remy?
I was gonna say I was stationed in Texas for 10 no September to April, like pretty much 8 months. I was in San Antonio. I can't really speak for Dallas, but it shouldn't be that bad. If anything, it's probably gonna be light jacket weather. I went to Houston 3 years ago in January, and it wasn't that bad. It was like literally, it was like light jacket weather. It wasn't as bad as up here where you're freezing and you see water's freezing in mid flow. It shouldn't be as bad down there.
Yeah, it'll probably be like 50, 60 degree weather, I think, cuz it'll be springtime. Dallas is a little bit up north than Houston. Like if it was in Houston, we'd all be dying. We'd be sweating. But yeah,
I
it
don't
shouldn't
like
be.
50, 60 degrees. See
Yeah.
me, give me I don't even like 75 degrees. I like 80 and up. So between 80 to 85, maybe slightly touching 90. And that like don't go up no higher than that, don't go no lower than that. Like just give me
Well,
85.
you really West Indian then.
Right. Cause I hate it. I hate it. In my past life I was a Trinidadian.
I was about to say, what you doing living up north with those kind of temperatures and you want 85-degree
I've
weather?
been here all my life.
Oof. You need to come
Oh,
down here. That's where 85 and 90. It's
I
60
might.
it's
I might have to make that
60
move.
69 degrees right now.
See, that's amazing. Like it was so nice earlier today. Like we was in 60-degree weather today earlier. It's beautiful outside. I wake up now. I'm waiting for my heat to come on. Like it's cold now.
Yeah, I say that right now, but tonight it's supposed to be like 40 degrees. It went from 70-degree weather to 40.
It's crazy. It's the
Yep.
global warming. Somebody needs to fix it. It's messed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, but yeah, back to mania. Before COVID, you would get the mania sickness. You had said like you lost your voice. I got sick, like super sick after going to WrestleMania 34. I guess
Mm-mm.
being around all those people, because I went to the Hall of Fame and WrestleCon and Access. Like I did everything but go to like the Raw after Mania and the SmackDown after Mania. And I got home and I got sick. And then they had that was like there was a measles outbreak too. So I was like, oh my god, I hope I don't get the measles
Oh my
because it
goodness.
broke out at the Hall of Fame. Like somebody went and had the measles while they were there, and I was like, I went to the Hall of Fame too.
Well, my Hall of Fame was eventful because that was when Bret Hart got attacked.
Oh yeah,
So we were like in the middle of a seat change. So we were like, we're getting tickets to go down, and we just like happened to peek through the curtain, and we just see like this commotion, and we see like the guy getting beat up. But now, WWE doesn't play it on any of their things, but to be there in person, oh man. Yeah,
I
saw
think
that.
for I think for this year they're supposed to clump it together with SmackDown. Which if they do that, I'm like, I'm not going. I don't want to stay through SmackDown. It's gonna be like a 6 hour show if that's true. You got your 2 hours for SmackDown,
And
and
then
the Hall
Hall
of
of Fame
Fame's usually like
after.
four hours because they talk so much. But I don't know. We'll see. So I heard you talking earlier about The Rock and Stone Cold. I was like, why can't you be? People can't be fans of both. I am. Like they always make people pick Stone Cold or The Rock. I'm like both.
Because that's how WWE laid it in our laps.
Yeah,
You had to
probably.
pick. It's either you were Rock or you were Austin. There was no in between. Because it's just like if you're in between, then you like Undertaker or DX, and they're not factors right now in this Rock Austin feud. That's what it's one or the other. And I just chose the Samoan way. That's it.
That is true because my friend, he was an Undertaker fan. He was like, I like both of them. They're both fine with me. You're right. He was an Undertaker fan. So, yeah, and I was like, no, I'm a Rock fan. No, man, I
Right.
can't do that, Austin. No. Man, I was like, I remember he was a Hollywood blonde. You know what I mean? Doing that. He can't fool me.
Right. Don't get me wrong, like I appreciate Austin's work now, but back then it was Rock or nothing.
I like them both. I'm one of those rare people, I guess. I just like everybody.
So who's your favorite wrestler then?
Out of what, everybody or just The Rock and Stone Cold?
No, no, no. Out of everybody.
Oh my god. So I started watching when I was 4 years old. What? What, Remy?
I was saying Hulk Hogan.
Oh god, no. He was one of my favorites because, like, when he was not Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and before the whole thing that came out about him. But I mean, when he was like All American and stuff in the '80s, yeah, he was one of my favorites. He wasn't my favorite, but so I started watching wrestling when I was 4, and the Road Warriors are like my favorite tag team of all time. And Sting was one of my favorites. Before he was the whole crow Sting, he was the blonde Sting,
Mm-hmm.
the beach one from WCW. He was one of my favorites. Who else? There's like a bunch of '80s wrestlers. Like Ricky Steamboat was one of my favorites.
He's
When
like the
he
best baby face ever. Like I feel like he's
Yes,
like the only person who's never turned heel, and it works for
Ultimate
him.
Ultimate Warrior was another one. I still have the like WWF socks that they had back in the '80s. Never wore them, so I still have them. Who else? And then like yeah, The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, which I just met Undertaker like a few weeks ago. That was crazy.
Undertaker was my sister's favorite wrestler. Like I was Rock, my cousin was Austin, Undertaker was my sister. And it was just like at least we had three big names. Like we nobody was just like, yeah, Taz is my favorite wrestler, or the acolytes above. We had big names, but it was just like my friend actually got a surprise from the Undertaker. Like she's an actress, so it was just like they was like if you had to ask Undertaker a question or whatever, it's like, oh wait, go out and come back in because we can't hear you. So there's like, all right, you in? And she was like, yeah, I'm in. And she was like, all right, so if you wanted to ask Undertaker anything or something like that, or do an impersonation, something like that, and Undertaker popped up on the screen and like surprised her. I was just like, oh man, so dope, so dope.
Yeah, the news came out about Fitterman. That's the place. There's a place in Pasadena, Texas, where you can meet people. That's where I met Becky. WWE had a big thing, Royal Rumble weekend, when the Rumble was in Houston, and so they had like Becky and Bray Wyatt when he was still there, and Randy Orton, just a bunch of people to meet. And I met Becky there. And then this past few, like 2 weeks ago, I think they had Undertaker and Ric Flair and Demolition. They did like a weekend. So after this Royal Rumble, that's when Ric Flair and Undertaker went to Texas from St. Louis, and I
I
got
think
to
I
meet
saw the
him.
picture of them together.
Yeah, that was from Fitterman or Fighterman, however you say it. But yeah, now the news came out that they're partnering together, Fitterman and WWE. So there'll be more signings and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool.
Okay, that sounds dope.
Yeah, the Undertaker was nice though. It was like really weird talking to him though, because like I've seen him like his whole career, even in back in WCW, and I told him that too. Like he was signing my figure because you can do like a photo op and an autograph, and I did both, or you could do one or the other. So after I took a picture with him, he was in the autograph line, and he I had a figure. It was the 30-year figure that they made for him, and he's signing it, and I'm like, I've seen your whole career, even in WCW when you were Mean Mark. And he stops signing and he looks up at me and he's like, you don't look that old. I was like, I turned 40 last year. I like grabbed it and walked away. But it like everybody that went get stuff signed, it seemed like they were scared to talk to him. I mean, it is the Undertaker, but I was like, dude, I'm probably never gonna meet him again. I'm gonna say what I want to say, and that's what I said. And I'm the only one that like made him stop, and he looked up at me, and I think that's the most he said to anybody was what he said to me. Because people were like, your wife did a good job at the Rumble last night, and he's like, I know she did. He'd be like,
I was
thank you.
there. I saw her.
Yeah, he's like, thank you. Stuff like that. Or they'd say like, safe travels home, and he'd say thank you. Or people would say like big fan, but I was the only one that kind of like carried a conversation with him and actually made him look up. And he's like, you don't look that old.
I'm like, well, thanks,
It's like,
Mark.
yeah,
At that
well,
point, not even like Mark.
Yeah.
It's Kathy. It's I keep telling you, you need to get involved in the business, man. Like you have something with these wrestlers that Krista. Kathy was responsible for getting Paige's mom on this show. That was all her.
Really?
Yeah, we had Saraya Knight.
Yep.
Guess who? Because of who? Kathy. Yeah, I don't know how she does it. I mean, I'm pretty good at booking, but like she just, I don't know, man. Like she got
Teach
Thunder Rosa,
us. Teach us. Send us some tips.
she
Thanks.
got Thunder Rosa, she got who else? Insidious. There was a masked wrestler who just unmasked, and she got the first interview with her. I'm like, yeah, wow, I don't know how you do that, but yeah,
She got drafts just like lined up, waiting to just publish them, like just send them. That's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And she has a
Yeah.
way with words.
Remy teases me that Roxy kicks me in the shins and Insidious wants a steel cage match. I have another one that I never told you guys, but Paige is gonna fight me in the Target parking lot.
Street fight.
Yeah. That's another one. That and then in the candle aisle at Target too. So we have two fights
we
coming
don't
up.
we don't
Ball counts
provide
anywhere.
we don't provide health insurance, man. You're on your own with this one. I don't know why you keep doing this dangerous stuff.
I
Jeez.
didn't. Hey, I don't start this stuff. They started with me. She's like, we got. Oh, she's supposed to put me in the PTO too when we do this fight. So there's
Oh
that
man. Well,
too.
I just hope it's under some cameras so that we all can watch.
Oh, somebody's probably gonna videotape it. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing Remy brought that up because how did you guys get Naomi and Bianca and Mickey James? I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at, too.
Okay, so for Bianca and Naomi, it's because when I was working part time at the radio station, um, like I said, my boss and is a wrestling fan, and I wanted to just like pitch an idea of focusing on women who are actually doing things, women of color for Black History Month, and this is right around the time when Naomi just came back and she made her entrance at the Royal Rumble and she surprised everybody, and then to have Bianca also, make history. Did she make history that year? I don't know if she made history that year, but for her, oh, when she came out in the Black History get up outfit. So I was just like, yeah, I just want to focus on these Black women, talk about the Black women movement in wrestling, and then like I was saying to Remy earlier, I also wanted to focus on Mia Yim because Mia Yim is easily overlooked. Oh, she's not Black, she's Asian, she's this and that. Why are you talking to her? And I'm just like, no, she's Black. Her dad is Black. She's half Black, but she's Asian passing. Like, you know. So I was able to use my job outlet as a way of getting her. And I actually, how I got Naomi's connection was because of as soon as I pitched the idea, I saw that another writer, her name is Imani, who me and her are really good friends today. She published it for Essence like the next day or the next week or so, like my exact same idea. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't use this idea anymore. So my supervisor was like, no, reach out to her, see if you can get her connection, get her contacts, and we can just restructure it. So I reached out to Naomi's people, and then through Naomi, I was able to reach out to Bianca Belair's people. Well, just basically Bianca Belair. Got her information, and we set up a call and talked and stuff. And then same thing with me. I'm like, hey, do you mind? And just with that. So knowing that they were really happy to be a part of something like that. And then with Mickey James, that's all P's doing. She sends out emails to PR people, to reps, to publications, to all different, like that was all her. She surprised me with Mickey James. So that was all her doing.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, like people are like, "Oh, how'd you get like Saraya Knight? How'd you get Thunder Rosa? How'd you get the Insidious one, Sid Mars?" I'm like, I have been a Paige fan for years, and that translates into the Knight family too. Been a fan of them for years. I met Mama Knight in for WrestleMania 32 when it was in Dallas before this year. So I don't know. It's like I go in her Twitch streams. I'm like part of the family, I guess. And I asked her, basically 9 times out of 10, you just ask people, and they can either say yes or no.
Right.
And then like with Insidious one, I go to all her, like most of her matches. I know her like for 3 years now, and then like Thunder Rosa too. I'll go to her matches. It's like just ask them at these meet and greets. You're like, hey, you want to be on a podcast? They're like, yeah, sure. And then like you send your information, and they're like, okay, well, you work out a date, and that's when they come on the show.
That's it.
I'm gonna piggyback on what you're saying. People get business cards. Ain't nobody got time to go on their phone. Let me show y'all something. I'm a clout chase. I'm a flex a bit. Hold
Yeah, he
on.
made some really cool cards.
Do something.
They
Excuse me.
even they even gave him props for it. They're like, we love these cards, like Windows Vista or whatever it's called, the company he got them through. They're like, they're awesome.
All right. You see this? This is a business card. Get one of these. Get one of these for your podcast. All right,
That's
people.
actually dope.
Yeah, it's
All right.
pretty nifty.
And I got
Glossy and stuff. He's fancy with it.
presentations. Another. Let me show you another one. This is another one too. I got them in 2 colors. So when you
Snazzy.
ain't nobody, yeah, you could say, yeah, you got a podcast or you got this, you got that. But a lot of times people, they may be on the go. Get a business card, go to Vista, go to Staples. They have deals on there. They have deals where you can actually get how much for like a low price. I think Staples, don't quote me on this, may have theirs for like 20, $25 if you got it to spare. And just make the investment, invest in your brand. That's another thing I can tell you. Presentation is everything. I've had one person tell me, I never got a business card for, I've never seen a business card for a podcast. And I told him like, yeah, well, when you got a brand and you take it seriously, you do whatever you can to get it out there, to get that name out there. So yeah, definitely business cards help, and lets people know that you're actually serious about what you do and so on. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
That, and I guess have a Kathy on your team, or a PR or a Krista on your team too. It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt at all.
So I know you guys do these viewing parties and stuff. Are y'all gonna have another one soon?
Well, the viewing parties that we do, those are virtual because PR really does them. But the ones that we go to are jobber tiers viewing parties and at Legends, and they actually are having one this Saturday at Legends for Elimination Chamber. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be there though because it's actually my first Saturday off of work without me having to put in a request. So I think I'm gonna just like lay back for this one. I just have to like relax. And it's at noon. It's like 12 literally in the afternoon. That's
Yeah.
like who's I mean, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? But I rather just like chill out and just, But yes, I do attend the Legends parties. They're so much fun. That's where we build our extended community, our extended family from. So yeah, if ever you're in the New York area, please stop by Legends for Jabba Tears viewing parties. They're so dope.
Yeah, I have to commend you guys for what y'all did when y'all had the podcast for like black wrestlers. That one podcast that you guys did, that was pretty awesome. Or like black people in media in general, like that was awesome too.
Thank you. Yeah, we always want to focus on topics like those because it's not easy being in this. It's not easy being a person of color in the world of wrestling or anywhere, to be honest, without being, criticized or chastised or looked at as a stereotype. So we have the opportunities to, invite people into those spaces and recognize them for what they do. We really want to make sure we can get that across to other people.
Yeah, absolutely, and I commend you for those wrestling girls too. It's an awesome podcast. I've
Thank
been on
you.
been on it a couple of times. You got to get me back on when you're on there this time.
Yes, absolutely.
Talk some wrestling.
Yes.
Well, before I turn it over back to Remy, just want to say thanks for coming on our show. And like I said, I would love to be a guest on your show in the future too. And
Anytime. And thank you for having me.
who do you have? One more question though. Who do you have on coming on the show? Anybody down the pike soon?
Not that I know of. But then again, when in Dallas, anything can happen.
That is true. And that was what I was gonna say too. Hopefully I can see you in Dallas.
Yes, absolutely.
PR's going too.
Yep.
Sweet.
Those wrestling girls are taking over Dallas.
Sweet. Well, I definitely want to go to WrestleCon. Might go to Access depending on who they say is going to be there. But yeah, I'll definitely be there sometime that weekend. I definitely want to make the trip there.
Okay, great.
All right, Remy.
Krista, I just gotta say, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Finally, we got you on here. Don't go too far because we'll be looking to have you and Queen PR, and hope maybe King Letty. I don't know. I mean, she kind of
That's the honorary
she got
TWG right there. You may
she
you
got
may have to have her on.
she kind of scared me at that Jobber Talk. Those wrestling girls 3 year anniversary because she looked kind of upset, and I was like, should I say hi or should I just go my way?
No,
'Cause
that's just her. That's just her. Letty's like literally one of the sweetest people I know, right next
yeah,
to PR. So
I found that out the next month, the next night. It was summer. It was not SummerSlam. It was Survivor Series. And
Survivor Series.
I was like, yo, you look pissed last night. You were. I was like, no, I wasn't. I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. It's probably just me being a chicken then. But anyways, yeah. Hopefully we can have both y'all back on for one of our prediction episodes. Definitely wouldn't mind it. And I just gotta say, thank you very much for all that y'all have been doing and keep on doing. If nobody has thanked you before, well, you're hearing it from us. And if somebody has already thanked you, well, you're hearing it for the millionth time from us then. But
Thank you so much for having me.
yeah, no problem. With that being said, before we shut it down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling? Check out the next episode of Those Wrestling Girls, or even check out when you guys have a next Jobber Talk panel or event like the one you had back in November.
Okay, so they can follow us on Those Wrestling Girls on Facebook and Instagram, T Wrestling Girls on Twitter. Our Patreon and our YouTube is also Those Wrestling Girls. You can follow me at Miss underscore Krista B underscore on Instagram and Miss underscore Krista B on Twitter. And Queen PR is Queen PR Queen 3 underscores PR. And also in April, I am having my second annual um brunch and panel women's event. It's called Take Up Your Space, Sis. Is in Brooklyn. Tickets are on sale right now. You can follow. The link is in my bio. If you want to purchase tickets, early bird tickets are also on sale. And yes, it is a space for Black women, but Black men or any man, any woman can come and support.
Hmm. Maybe I just might roll up. It's gonna be in Brooklyn, right?
Yes, it's in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I try to stay away from Brooklyn, but for you guys, maybe I'll just go. It's crazy. I live in Brooklyn, but I don't really venture out in Brooklyn because I'm kind of shook and whatnot. But
I mean, it's
for you,
understandable.
for you, maybe for y'all, you and Queen P, I'll probably take the trip there, and I love me a good brunch anyway. So yeah, if it's for the culture, y'all definitely do it. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all are following this incredible woman. She's doing great things. This incredible Black woman, this fine sister. I'm not hitting on you, buddy. I'm just
No,
saying.
I get it. I understand.
Yeah, make sure y'all following her. She's doing great things. Also follow Queen PR. I definitely got to say, and check out their podcast. We're not gonna get jealous. I listen to their podcast too. They're one of my favorite podcasts. So and y'all know there's like thousands of podcasts up in here, wrestling podcasts now. So, but I definitely enjoy listening to theirs as well. So definitely follow them. Make sure you purchase their merchandise. They have merchandise available as well. Cool merchandise, by the way. So yeah. Well, with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. We got another show after this one, but we're not rushing it at all. It's just it's just right. It's just that time. But with that being said, before we actually shut this show down, Kathy Knight, where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, all things Paige and Becky Lynch, and good eating in Louisiana and whatnot?
So I'm on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord, all at BLUE70517.
Awesome. And also make sure you check out her YouTube channel too. She does really great edits and whatnot. Speaking of which, why have we done a Ringside Society edit?
What
Never
we're
mind.
gonna
I'm
we're
not
gonna
gonna
do like montages of us talking. What you want
I'm
for
not
that?
gonna ask that because she's probably gonna say, Remy, you don't look too good. Rob,
It's gonna
Rob, Rob looks like a Mel Gibson. You look like a Tracy. What's his name from that? Yeah, that. Yeah, but
it's gonna be all montages of you like when you turn your camera off.
oh wow, people. I'm the one that does the backstage stuff. So yeah. So if you see me going off, yeah, it's probably because I got to deal with some technical stuff. All right, but make sure you follow Kathy. She's a great person. Definitely a cornerstone of Ringside Society, and without her, we pretty much wouldn't be where we are. So definitely give her a follow. Rob Bass, my brother from another mother, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Sean Spence to my Burton Guster, and the Tommy to my Ghost. I bet a lot of y'all didn't get that one, huh? But
If they didn't get that one, then yeah.
They're 60. They're in their 60s and above.
yeah. But where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out when your next appearances, purchase Rob Base merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can actually you can catch me this Saturday. I don't know where my thing is. I'm gonna be refing for CCW one CW. You can catch it on the Delmarva Sports Network.com. We also have it's a TV taping. There's also a show at 10 in the morning, so you can catch a certain ref. You know what I mean? It's streaming, so you can go on there and past shows are up there. You know what I mean? The episode 1 was last week, and you can see me doing a body bag cage match. I don't know what's going on this week, but you can definitely check it out. But on Twitter, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, I'm Rob_Base82, and Facebook, YouTube, Rob Base.
Awesome. And yes, speaking on that, yes, make sure you check out CCW. We're actually a sponsor for that show. That's that Battleground, I believe is what it's called. We'll be sponsoring Mother Endless. And unfortunately, we're sponsoring her, but she's going up against our alumni guest, Kayla Sparks. So y'all definitely check out one CW, check out CCW. A lot of great, talented men and women there. I'm actually jealous that I'm not in the Delmarva area for that, but who knows? Maybe one day I'll definitely make my way over there and check it out. But with that being said, if you want to find me on social media, not that I have anything cool to say, but who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky. You can find me on Twitter at the Remy Blue. You can also find me on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue. You can also find our podcast on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society. We're on Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're also on Spotify. We also have a Facebook group named Ringside Society. Check us out there. And we also have a YouTube channel, which is actually one of the platforms that we're streaming on right now. So make sure you go on YouTube. Once you type in Ringside Side, you see that sweet OMG dark blue and light blue yin yang sign with the blue flames around it. That's when you know it's us. Subscribe to all our videos because you don't want to miss what we have coming up next. And check out our other past videos, like our interview with Queen PR. We also had Judy Conda from the Philippines. We've also had impressive guests in the wrestling industry like Seth Rollins' former tag team partner, Marek Brave, and Jasmine Allure, and Insidious Sid Mars, her first interview after she unmasked. So definitely make sure you check out those interviews. Very impressive. And we also have a Teespring store where we actually sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have t-shirts, we have long sleeve shirts, we have tank tops, we even have coffee mugs for your favorite beverage, well, warm beverage. So make sure you check us out, cop some merch. All proceeds go back into keeping this show afloat. It doesn't go back into our pockets. I'm still, fighting people for scraps, and Kathy's still bullying people at Cafe Du Monde, and Rob is still, trying to score at the taco festival with his looks. So yeah, it's the struggle is real. But yeah, definitely check out what we got and give us, you know, help us help a brother, help a couple of brothers and a sister out. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in tonight live. We really and truly appreciate it. We know we're not the best, but we really appreciate y'all listening to what we got to say. To those of y'all that are going to listen to us later on, Thank you very much in advance. Those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral, Rob Bass at a Taco Festival, and Kathy Knight at a Cafe Du Monde on their buy one get one free special, we ain't going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
We ain't stopping. Well, with that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we here at Ringside Society are very well aware everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag we are not the same. We don't say that to impress the guys and the gals. But yo, Rob Bass, oh, I forgot Kathy Knight. Kathy, you gotta stop coming in like unexpected, man. You're killing me. But Rob Bass, Kathy Knight, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for our very impressive, phenomenal guest, Krista B of Those Wrestling Girls.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
We're
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. And with that being said, we'll be back in a couple of minutes with our next guest, a young lady by the name of Johnny Robbie out of California. But until then, I just want y'all to do 4, and the worldwide Starboy means 4 favors. And that is stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.
Bye.
Bye.